Hello everybody, I am Fuzzyface. Welcome back to another round of this Motorsport Manager career. We're back with our Audi Formula 1 team. Last time out we had a pretty decent race. We finished 6th and 9th overall with Sebastian Vettel, Pierre Gasly after qualifying quite far down the order. I think we qualified like 19th and 20th. Yes we did. Gasly and Vettel wasn't the greatest of qualifying, but we managed to make it work in the race. It was a race that was won by Lando Norris, a great race for him. Leclerc couldn't make his strategy work. He had to come in late on in the race, cost him the win. Ferrari not off to the start that they had last season, as it is McLaren currently leading the Constructors' Championship. It is Renault and Ferrari then tied in second place, and then we've got Red Bull in fourth, and then we're tied with Aston Martin. As it is with the car, we're currently going for a new engine, which we started the build at the start of the season. Hasn't been completed for this race. It will be completed in time for the next race in China. As you can see, our Audi engine is absolutely dreadful. Nothing we can do about that. Our overall has slipped. We were pretty much right on the average mark. This little arrow is the average mark. We're a little bit below that now. We're still sitting 7th overall as having the best car on the grid. In terms of updates, as I go through my notebook here, Red Bull and Williams have developed new rear wings, which puts Red Bull up to 4th. Williams now jump us into 6th place in terms of how their rear wing is performing. The Red Bull have the best car with a new rear wing. It's going to be even stronger now if we just head over here to Red Bull. We see Red Bull have the strongest car. Renault with the second strongest car. They're currently second. And we see how far behind a Renault actually is compared to that Red Bull. That Red Bull absolutely mighty this season. AlphaTauri meanwhile have built a new suspension. Moves them up to 8th. Still not a great suspension, and Haas have improved their brakes. Still 11th, which is below us at least. But doesn't move Haas up much. I don't think it moves Haas off being the worst car on the grid either. We do have some new sponsors to go on the car as well. We've got Honda, obviously we won't take that. We've got ABC, and we've got a mystery sponsor. Let's go with a mystery sponsor. Hopefully that's just not going to put a big block on the car. Who is it? United Rentals. Nice. Great, so yeah, so that is it in terms of what we've got to go over before this race. We've got Gasly and Vettel in the car. Van Dorn is the reserve driver at the moment. Gasly does have room to improve. He's better at overtaking. He's got a better smoothness rating. That's why he's in the car at the moment. We're going to go direct supply. We don't have to qualify or finish as high to get this bonus. Whether we can qualify for above or have a race result for above, we don't know. We're going to take one extra super soft tyre since we do have the 3-stage qualifying this season. It is Dubai, a race that was won last season by Charles Leclerc. Leclerc also had the pole position. We'll get more into that as we go through qualifying, but as it is, we'll skip over practice and we'll be back in a second when we go through qualifying. So practice is over. Ferrari looking quickest around here with Leclerc. Alonso pretty close as well, although Alonso's quickest time was on the soft tyre. Doesn't look like he did a super soft run at all. Dubai being such a long track, you don't get that many runs. I only did 2 runs. I don't actually know how close we are with the actual setup at the moment. I know we got pretty close off the first run, but off the second run I don't know how close we got. Pretty much there with both cars, which is pretty good. So we did a 2:02 and a 2:01 on the super softs, a little bit quicker on the supers. There's a little bit of room to manoeuvre with the handling, so we'll just move that back that way a tiny bit, and then we'll shore up the speed balance for Gasly. Hopefully that gets him a little bit closer. We can't change that once we've done this though, and it looks like we're pretty much there with Vettel. Got from a 91 to a 97. I'm just going to leave it at that. Only 5/10 quicker between the softs and the super softs though. I'm guessing that is because the temperature was very high. It's very high as well for qualifying as well. So we're going to jump straight in here. Should be a little bit more of a representation of where all the cars are at this time, because last time we had rain during the first part of qualifying, which meant we were out in the first part of qualifying as well due to the rain. But we're going to get Gasly out here first out of our cars, and then we'll get Vettel out as well. So last season's pole lap around here was Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari, did a 159.7. So we're going to get to see how much the cars have improved this season, how much quicker they are. Currently off the Q1, I don't know how. The Q3 should be quicker because the track grip's going to be there. Obviously we're going to have more track grip on the course, this year, because we've got 3 stages of qualifying, we usually get about halfway through track grip. As it is, we can even get it to set a second lap here, because Vettel is a long way off here. Vettel is a long way behind. I don't know if he got caught in traffic. We're going to have to send him out again. I'm guessing we're going to have to send Gasly out again, because there's only 2 tenths back to the cut-off, isn't there? So we're going to have to get Gasly out again as well. It is 2 minutes around this course, so we better get back out. Luckily, we've brought enough super softs to this race. So Gasly is close to the cut-off, even though he's in 6th place, and Vettel 24th, although he's come out behind a Red Bull now, which isn't too bad. That Red Bull's a lot quicker than us, but don't want to get caught up battling with another Red Bull again here. But Vettel does need to get out. Leclerc does a 1:59. Well, he's almost a 2-minute straight, so not much improvement. I'm guessing, I don't know whether the temperature is higher this year. Vettel's fallen behind the Red Bull. He's got someone behind him. I'm guessing, is that Max Verstappen behind him? No, it's not. It's actually George Russell behind him. Verstappen, Leclerc, Ricciardo not coming out. Newgarden, has he already done his second lap? He has. So the top 3 think they're safe. Vettel isn't going any quicker on his second lap. Gasly isn't either. So it's looking like, oh, he goes quicker in the second sector, although he's battling away with George Russell here on his qualifying lap, which isn't what we needed. Vettel goes 19th. So Vettel is eliminated in Q1. Gasly gets through into Q2. Doesn't look like we're going to make Q3 this time around, though. Yeah. I'm guessing Vettel just got caught up in traffic both times there, and that's why he's out early in qualifying. But we've got Magnussen, Lance Stroll, Schwartzman, Vips, Schumacher in Alfa Romeo. We've got Tsunoda. Can't see down here too much. Latifi in a Williams, and Giovinazzi will start last in a Prema. Hulkenberg in the Williams just managed to get through as well. So let's jump into Q2, our first time through in Q2. Let's see what we can do. We're going to give Gasly 2 runs, I think. Should we get him out first? Get him, make sure he's out without traffic, and then if he does get through, he's got another 2 sets. And then we've got a spare set for the race, which you shouldn't need. This is an easy 1-stop race. Going from super soft to soft, or soft to super soft, it's easy enough to do. We can shred the tyres, which we shouldn't have to be too worried. The temperature is a little bit cool this time on track, so the tyres getting too hot around this 1 lap shouldn't be an issue. Hopefully we can get a nice, decent lap out of Pierre Gasly on his first run in Q2. It's Hamilton going quickest in the Ferrari at the moment, who's currently behind Pierre Gasly. He's about 6 tenths off his Gasly. Hamilton over the 2-minute mark, so we're actually down on time over last season, even with more track grip. Is Alonso about to set the quickest lap here in Q2 though? Alonso goes 2nd overall. It's currently Hamilton in 1st place. Gasly, as it stands, is out in Q2 if things go as they are. I don't think we've got a chance of picking up 3 tenths over the next lap. Maybe if we leave it till the last second. We've got Hulkenberg already out on track. Are we going to see runs from the top cars? Yes, Alonso's going back out again, and we've left it a little bit too late here, but hopefully we can get around just in time. I don't think we're going to make the cut-off, are we? We're a little bit late out of the pits this time. We might just make it. We might just make it. 20 seconds to come around this final corner and get to the line. We just do it with 5 seconds to spare. We get Gasly out onto his 2nd flying lap. Alonso is going quickest here. Hamilton though goes quicker than that, although Leclerc then sets the quickest 2nd sector. Things changing all over the place on this final qualifying run for Q2. It looks like Gasly is going to improve slightly. Can he get above Hulkenberg? He can't. We come 15th last in Q2. So there's something fundamentally can't even get the word out wrong with our car in qualifying at the moment. 15th and 19th I think is where Vettel came. Was he higher than that? I can't even remember. But Leclerc was quickest there. The Ferrari's looking mightily strong here. It was a 1:59.8, which is still not an improvement over last year's qualifying time here in Dubai. Both our cars are out. We've got a time for Norris there, but that's the time that Leclerc that last time out. Norris does have a fresh pair of super soft. Ocon is out on some used rubber here. a used pair of super softs, so we're going to see that Aston Martin probably in last place. So what do we have? We've got 2 Ferraris, we've got 2 Red Bulls, we've got 2 Renaults, we've got 2 Mercedes, and we've got an Aston Martin and a McLaren, which is possibly what we would expect. Maybe Sainz could knock out one of the Mercedes at some point. Or really the McLaren should be above Ocon, shouldn't they? Is the sort of running we should be expecting in the top 10. But we're just going to speed up here, see who can get the quickest lap. It is Hamilton quickest over the first sector so far. Hamilton quickest, although Ricciardo is now going quicker in the Renault. Renault finding some pace over here, but Alonso sets his first sector. It looks like Alonso's going to pick up pole off the first lap here. All these cars should run again. I'm hoping they've all got the tyres to do another decent run. I'm guessing Ocon doesn't have another pair of super softs to maybe go again. He's gone again as Ocon on another used pair of super soft tyres. I'm guessing they've only brought 3 or 4 pairs to the race weekend. But obviously Ocon is not going to improve on this second flying lap. Although he does. Look at that. Ocon sets the quickest first sector. Although he's a lot slower in the second sector as he got held up by a Mercedes there. Ocon, will he improve? No, he stays in 9th place overall. So who have we got out on track at the moment? We've got Alonso, I think. Leclerc is the lead car out at the moment. He's followed by Norris, so Leclerc is slower over his first sector of the race. Russell is going quicker though. Could Russell be on for his first pole position here? Quicker in the second sector as well. Russell putting a storming lap together here as he's following a Renault. I'm guessing that is Sergio Perez in front of him. No, it's not. It's Danny Rick in front of him. And Russell comes across the line, goes first. This could be a Mercedes 1-2. Yes, it is a Mercedes 1-2. No one else is improving out on track. Hamilton grabs 4th. Alonso is 3rd. Yeah, that is shocking. Mercedes, not the best car. Obviously, it's working here. This Red Bull should be absolutely powerful around this track. They do have the best car rated for this track. We won't look too far into the qualifying because we'll go through the grid quickly just before we get into the race. And we're going to take this soft boost because that's what we're going to spend the longest amount of time on during this race. I think we're going to start both cars on the soft tyre as well. 25 laps it can do. If we were cheeky and I wasn't following my own rules, we could go 2 pairs of super softs and quite comfortably finish the race, although the weather is kind of hot here. Maybe a medium would work better than softs, but we don't have any boosts for the medium tyre. We will go for a soft tyre though on both cars. We're going to... Or should we go an opposite route with Vettel? Maybe. We'll go an opposite route with Vettel. We'll go the other way around. See which works better. We'll go with a super soft. Obviously we don't have the boost for that. Maybe get Vettel going from there off. But anyway, here is the grid for the 2022 Dubai Grand Prix. We've got a front row Mercedes pairing Russell, Verstappen, followed by Alonso in a Red Bull, Hamilton a Ferrari, and then we've got Charles Leclerc in a Ferrari, Ricciardo in the Renault is 6th, then we 7th place we've got Lando Norris in a McLaren, Albon 8th in a Red Bull. On the 5th row of the grid we've got Sergio Perez, followed by Esteban Ocon in an Aston Martin. Then outside the top 10 we've got Valtteri Bottas in the Alfa Romeo, Carlos Sainz in the McLaren, Newgarden and Haas, Hulkenberg in the Williams. Getting quite a lot out of that Williams this season. Is Hulkenberg had quite a good qualifying last time out. Then we've got Gasly 15th, 16th is Magnussen, 17th Stroll, 18th Schwartzman, 19th is Vettel, 20th is Mick Schumacher in the Alfa Romeo. Not getting much out of that machinery this season so far. Then we've got Vips, 21st in an Alfa Tauri, Latifi in a Williams, Tsunoda is 23rd in the Honda Alfa Tauri, and then bringing up the rear is Giovinazzi in the Prema. We're just going to follow Gasly here through the outset of this race. Maybe once we start we'll just switch up. We know the temperature is really high here. Gasly's off to a pretty decent start though, which is what we needed. He moves up 5 positions. No, he gets past Perez as well. I'm guessing that is a McLaren as well. Gasly on an absolute charge here. Is just following the path that Hulkenberg created. Hulkenberg gets himself up into 4th. Gasly is up into 5th place. That soft tyre. An absolutely great start for Pierre Gasly here. Sets the quickest first sector. Obviously it doesn't mean much over the first part of a lap. We just need to watch the temperature of these tyres as well because it is so hot here. Meanwhile Russell has managed to get off the line alright. He's managed to stay ahead of his teammate Max Verstappen though he's under a lot of pressure. Hamilton is 3rd. Why did Leclerc drop to all the way down into 10th? Did anyone else drop further down the order that shouldn't be down there? Well, it looks like everyone else is up here, although Alonso is all the way down into 9th place. He didn't have the best of starts last time out either. Gasly, though, is still quick throughout this lap. He's right on the back of Hulkenberg. Maybe we should just start thinking about easing off a little bit with the way we're pushing these tyres at the moment, because it is so hot here. Vettel hasn't made much of an improvement here, although we say that he's on the back of Nicholas Latifi here. Can't get past him through after that first chicane. He can't get round him, or past him should I say. Vettel a little bit out of this race at the moment. Whether we can make things work through pit stops. We know the top of the order, they're going to be able to do it comfortably on a one stop this time around. Starting on used pairs of tyres isn't going to affect them too much in this race like it did in the last race, but you never know. Renault have been known to mess up their strategy in this game. We might be able to pick things up. Pierre Gasly has locked up though. These tyres getting a little bit too hot at the moment. I think everyone else is running hot. Hulkenberg has started on a used pair of super softs for some reason, so that is good for us at least. I don't know why Williams would start him on a used pair of super soft. Why not go for a medium or a soft? Why even use a used pair of super softs during this race? Depending on how far you can get that tyre. It looks like Ocon and Stroll have had a coming together as well. Vettel currently, his tyres running too hot at the moment and getting cars. Oh, Daniel Ricciardo has collided as well. Who did he just collide with? Is he collided with his teammate? Did that say? Yes, he has. The two Renaults have had a coming together. Both cars damaged, with the Renaults just not what they wanted, which is good going for us. Vettel is now down in 21st as we're trying to rapidly cool this tyre. We're going to cool off them. We're going to just have to see what we can do later on in this race with Sebastian Vettel. Whereas the focus at the moment is keeping Gasly as high up as we can. We do have an Alfa Romeo behind us. It's Norris in that pretty quick McLaren behind us. Alonso and Albon in the Red Bulls. And we've got a Ferrari of Leclerc. It'll be a good job, a good day for us if we can keep all those behind us as it is. Bottas is currently holding them all up, doing a favour for us at the moment. We're currently doing a 207.2. Look at that, a 204 from the Mercedes. That is so quick. The Mercedes trying to obviously open up a gap. We've got all the cars coming into the pits that were in those collisions. I guess Tsunoda and Ocon had a coming together. Ricciardo came together with Perez, who's still out on track at the moment. I'm guessing his damage is not too bad. That means he has to pit, but he will have to fix when he comes into the pits. But it looks like he doesn't have to come into the pits just yet. Meanwhile, Vettel already 20 seconds behind here. Just about cooled down these tyres. We'll get him pushing again. Bottas has managed to get away from the two Red Bulls behind him as well. I'm guessing they're going into recovery mode as well. And we're just going to take this opportunity to cool down with Pierre Gasly as well. Doesn't seem we have the pace of the super softs too much. We're just sort of keeping pace. Although, don't we say we don't have the pace? Obviously we don't have the pace of the front runners. We shouldn't have the pace of Hamilton. Possibly somewhere equal to Hulkenberg in terms of pace. That Williams is not too far behind us. We did make big gains going into the latter part of last season, but obviously the AI has made some huge steps in the pre-season and towards the end of last season as well. So I'm hoping with the engine upgrade that goes into China, that we get into the car going into China, that we can go ahead and improve as Bottas is starting to catch us up. We've got that tyre back into optimal temperature. I'm hoping that we can take another step forward, because as we've seen in terms of power, I'm guessing, which is what is a big factor in qualifying, could be the raw power of the car, the power unit. Hopefully with that new engine we're going to see some upgrades. Newgarden, have we had more comings together here? Have these two hit each other now? Stroll and Newgarden? No, I'm guessing Newgarden, yeah, it didn't say he'd broken down. I'm guessing they've come together as well. A lot of collisions during this race, which has pushed Vettel up to 15th at least, whereas Gasly at the moment is just getting back away from Valtteri Bottas here. We should be going quicker than him over the next lap, and we've got a safety car. We do have a safety car on track. What has happened? That is Yuri Vips that has crashed. We don't really want to pit. I don't think we could get to the end of the race on a we could go for a medium tyre and get to the end of the race here. We're going to take that opportunity here. Should we do it with Gasly, or are we going to be quick enough? What are the medium tyres doing? 206. Is this medium tyre is quick enough? We're going to take a cheeky option here. We're going to go get both cars into the pits, get our one and only pit stop for the race done. It looks like everyone else is taking this same tact here, although a lot of these cars are going for super softs. Hopefully Gasly can get in and out. We've got a nice quick pit crew, we know that. Everyone taking the option of coming into the pits. Vettel currently 15th, comes out of the pits in 17th, although we know we are now done with our pit stops till the end of the race. Hopefully we can get that tyre through. We know the weather is quite hot. It's going to get hotter towards the end of the race, but we're done as in terms of pit stops now. Who else has done the same as us? Hulkenberg's done the same as us, so that's worked out from him. He's gone from what would possibly... No, he would have got through to do a one stop. He would have stopped for that medium anyway. He was on a pair of supers that were getting a little bit worn that he'd started on. So that has worked out for Williams at least. It's worked out for us. Might have worked out for Vettel as well. I don't know whether that soft of Leclerc is going to see him through to the end of the race. Obviously everyone else that didn't stop does have to pit again at some point during this race. Or can they even just... Will the AI, with this safety car being out, that medium, I don't think it will get to the end of the race. It's 66% done. She used about a third of the tyre to do 10 laps. You never know, if they look after it, they may be able to get to the end of the race here, but we're just waiting for this safety car to come in. We've got about half a lap to do. Vips has crashed. We haven't seen much of the safety car in this series so far. We saw the virtual safety car for the first time in the series last time. I think we've had one safety car so far which we couldn't take advantage of. This is the first time that we've had a safety car in this series where we can take advantage of it, and we're going to get this tyre back up to speed. We're just going to push in high mode a little, maybe overtake mode, just to make sure we can hold on to these positions. We've got Schwartzman behind us in a Prema, we've got Williams behind us, we've got two Red Bulls that have closed up now as well. Hopefully we can get off, hopefully we can get to Hulkenberg. What is everyone else doing? Everyone else is pushing at the moment. Verstappen is taking it easy on a pair of super softs. That Mercedes though, I'm guessing they're going to get far enough ahead that they're going to be able to make their pit stop. They're going for another stop after this super soft. I would believe you can get 20 laps out of it. Maybe that Mercedes can get a lot more out of that super soft than we can. Because we could have gone on to this soft, but it's cutting a little bit fine with the weather, the temperature being a little bit too high. It's a little bit too fine to get that super soft through to the end of the race. And meanwhile, we're just going to turn down a little bit now. We can just keep going as we are. Vettel is currently on the back of Mick Schumacher there in Alfa Romeo. I'm saying Alfa Prema because he was in the Prema last season. As Schumacher does get past Magnussen, it looks like Russell though is staying ahead of his teammate here. Bottas in the Alfa Romeo didn't pit, is currently holding up Lewis Hamilton in the Ferrari. And Vettel is 15th, so Gasly is currently 6th. So we do know that we can get past Bottas, but Bottas, if he opens up a little bit of the gap since he's on a quicker tyre, he will possibly go for a super soft to finish his race on, if he's got a pair of super softs available, that is. Obviously with Alfa Romeo not being inside the top 6 teams, they might not have brought the amount of super softs that they need to this weekend. But we'll just have to go ahead and see what happens. Meanwhile, Gasly is 6th. We'll just speed up a little bit here since I think we're going to get under a little bit of pressure from Schwartzman, but he does have to pit again. Just try and keep these temperatures in their optimal range. We do have some room to move up with Vettel as well, but we're just waiting for other cars to come into the pits. Daniel Ricciardo has been given a drive-through penalty for causing a collision. Has he had another coming together? Or yes, he has. Ricciardo has now hit Esteban Ocon, his teammate last season and the season before. So Ricciardo, terminal damage to that Renault. Is slowing down a lot, is Ricciardo here. The Renault's a long way behind, as we've seen in the previous season. It's tough going for Renault at the moment. Ricciardo was here for at least one more season, depending on what Renault could get out of this car. He might be looking. Oh, we see Hulkenberg lock up there, and that Williams is getting away from us. We're pushing a little bit to try to get past him, but he's getting away again a little bit from us. But as we saw last season, and we discussed, Ricciardo was giving Renault one more chance this season. Obviously, this is down to his own doing. He's had 2 collisions, possibly fixed his car 2 times so far during this race. But they still don't know, because he came together with Perez. That's why they're so far down. But oh, are we going to get Hulkenberg here? Can we get Hulkenberg? Have we finally got him? We finally got past that Williams. There we go. We moved back up into 5th place, which is where we were before the safety car. Obviously, Bottas hasn't come in for his second pit stop yet. Vettel has moved up into 14th place. We're just going to watch the fuel at the moment with Vettel. We'll just slow down a little bit with him. But we've currently got Gasly running in 5th place here. We've comfortably got enough tyre left to get through to the end of the race. Hopefully we can go ahead and do that. Well, I say hopefully, it's pretty much a guarantee that we can get through to the end of the race. But we're currently running a little bit too high, so we might as well just dial back a little bit because we're pulling away from the Williams. We don't really have much chance of catching up to the Ferrari in front of us, although Hamilton's going through this medium tyre quite quickly. Although even at that, I think he's going to be able to get through to the end of the race. But you never know, we might be able to close up to the Ferrari later on during this race if we cool down. We're not actually that much slower. I would say that we're about 8 tenths behind on the last lap, but then again, we are just recovering at the moment. Hulkenberg is closing up a little bit, so we're going to get pushing again here, and we're going to cool down. But going high mode with Vettel. He's currently running in 14th place at the moment. But at 5th place, if we can go ahead and hold this, it looks like the Red Bulls aren't moving back up. Alonso does have to pit again after going on to that super soft. Russell should be at the point when he does come into the pits. He should be able to get back out in front of us. Can he get back out in front of Hamilton though, is the question. Because Hamilton is going to the end of the race. It is pretty close. They've managed to open up about 16 seconds over the Ferrari of Hamilton. At the moment, is that Ocon that's hit as well? Have Ocon and Tsunoda had a coming together? Or are they just fixing parts that were earlier damaged earlier in the race? I don't know. There's a lot of collisions going on in this race. A hell of a lot of collisions, but we're just cooling down as it is with Vettel at the moment. Gasly still running in 5th place with 14 laps to go. Currently under pressure from Nico Hulkenberg. I'm guessing he's pushing again. We've got a lot of room left in this tyre though to finish this race on if we do need to defend. They are still getting a little bit hot again, aren't they? Temperature's just very high and it's going to get even higher. So maybe we're going to cool the tyres down. I think we can stay ahead of Hulkenberg if we do that. Is Hulkenberg's doing the same at the moment. So he should be able to stay ahead. We just want to cool the tyres down before that period where we do go back up to 28 degrees track temperature. We do want to make sure that we do have the tyre to do that and push a little bit if we need it. So we do need to cool down. What does it say we can do on this tyre? It says we can currently do 18 laps. So we're alright for the tyre lasting to the end of the race. Obviously Hulkenberg's used a lot more of that tyre than us. About 11% more than we have as Hamilton. They've been pushing. Maybe the AI is not too bothered about the temperature getting too hot for a few laps. Whereas we've only let it touch the top of the scale and then brought it immediately back down. But losing time to the Ferrari in front now. We knew we wouldn't be able to keep up with them. It's all about whether Russell is going to be able to keep this win here, because he does have to pit at some point during this race. So we're just going to just keep cooling until we get these tyres really cool, and then we should be able to just go in medium and then push for the last few laps of the race to stay. I don't think we're under much pressure from Hulkenberg. Vettel has moved up into 12th place. Bottas has made his pit stop, so Gasly moves up into 4th place here now, and we're getting away from Hulkenberg again now as these tyres are almost cool. We're seeing all these cars that either didn't come in or went for a super soft off the safety car. We're starting to see them come in, so Vettel might get a top 10 finish here. Schumacher does have to pit, Sainz has to pit again. Should be pretty close, so we might move up into 9th place with Vettel, which would be a result considering his qualifying and how he started the race. It would be a bonus if he managed to do that. We're getting these temperatures into the range that we wanted to get them pushing. Russell has gone through this tyre a lot quicker than Verstappen, but Verstappen, no, I was going to say Verstappen's going to come into the pits first, but they're going to double stack a Mercedes here. Hasn't worked out because that is holding up Verstappen, so Verstappen will come out. are we going to see? There goes Hamilton. Obviously, Russell is on a fresh pair of super softs. Verstappen has come out on a pair of softs behind Gasly and Hulkenberg, so it's going to be a little bit harder for Verstappen to get back up into second place. He's got a lot of work to do if he wants to get back past Hamilton. I'm guessing he's going to get back past us. We're currently running in third place. We're currently behind George Russell. This tyre is now cooled down to the point that I wanted it to with both cars, so we'll switch back up into neutral. And we can just sort of trundle along here. We're running third, possibly going to get overtaken by Verstappen. Verstappen's coming at us pretty quickly. Russell is closing in on Lewis Hamilton though. Alonso does the quickest lap of the race. Vettel is up into 8th place here, although he's got Leclerc bearing down on him, former teammates. But Gasly currently 3rd overall. If we can go ahead and keep this, it would be amazing. I don't think we're going to be able to hold Verstappen off. We do have to turn the fuel down at some point as well, because we're getting a little bit, well, we've gone past the mark, getting a little bit close to the mark with Vettel, who sets his quickest lap of the race, a 2:05.0, but Leclerc is still half a second quicker than him. Whereas Gasly, I don't know what his best lap of the race is, but he's currently doing a 2:05.0 as well. You see a 2:03.8 from George Russell. So it doesn't look like Verstappen's going to get back onto second place. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to catch Lewis Hamilton, unless Lewis Hamilton goes through this tyre. He's gone through this tyre pretty quickly. He's gone to 35%, whereas Gasly has held on 50%. I'm guessing they've been running red hot on this tyre for most of this race. I don't really want to turn down too much just yet, because we're sort of holding up Verstappen, even though he's pushing. Once he starts to start to go off the boil, his tyres go past their optimum working range, we might be able to hold on to this 3rd place. Would be miraculous from 15th on the grid. But then again, this is why I sort of don't like, although we've got this through the safety car, but this is why I don't like the 3-stage qualifying as well, because the top cars have to start on the used rubber, and they can't quite manage it as in real life. They don't wait for a gap, they come out in traffic. It's why I don't like it in this game. I'm still on the fence of what to do for next season with the 3-stage qualifying. If you like it, we might keep it. I'm a little undecided at the moment, but we're keeping ahead as Verstappen started to cool down. He's not pushing as much at the moment. He's still pushing, but we're still ahead of him. Vettel has got up into 8th place. He's getting away from Charles Leclerc as well, so we'll take this chance to recover the fuel with him as well. But Gasly is holding off Verstappen. Russell, meanwhile, has gone off the boil on these super softs as well. Yep, he's running a little too hot. He's not getting close to Lewis Hamilton, who looks like he's about to get his first win in a Ferrari. Lando Norris, the winner of the last race, is currently 6th. His teammate is 13th. We've got 2 Williams in the points as well, which would be really good for Williams if they could go ahead and do that. But Hulkenberg's shredded that tyre as well. Hulkenberg's really gone through that tyre. Possibly try to keep up with his. I'm guessing he's going to have to come into the pits, which is going to push him out of a miraculous race if he does have to pit. Because Williams last season only picked up 2 points the entire season. If they were to stay as they were, would currently be on 12 points for this season. It would be a little bit harsh if they've gone a little bit too hard with Hulkenberg, who came into the pits the same time as we have, has gone through that tyre. We've remained at 38%. Hamilton might need to pit as well. He's at 17%. These mediums can go to 5% before they drop off a cliff. No, Hamilton is coming in for his pit stop, which is going to put him behind us. He's going to move Gasly up into 2nd place here. So Gasly, we get through into 2nd place. Hulkenberg has come into the pits as well. He comes behind Vettel. Vettel pushes up to 7th place as well. Hulkenberg is outside the points now. Obviously, he's on a fresh pair of softs. He's not going to be able to climb back into the top 10 though, I think. And we're just holding up here. Have we got this? We do need to recover the fuel though. We've been pushing to stay ahead of Verstappen. We might have to do the last lap in low mode, but we do have tyre left, so let's just cool down very briefly for half a lap. Not even half a lap, but we'll just go back into this mode, and we need to see what we're like. We might as well go in attack mode. With this, we can get back into high mode with Vettel. He's currently running 7th place overall. There's not much he can do, so we'll just keep him running. But I think we're just going to stay ahead of Verstappen here as we approach the final lap. The tyre is really hot, and we're just going to have to go low mode, aren't we? Hopefully, even in low mode, we're going to be able to hold off Max Verstappen here. George Russell sets the quickest lap of the race, heading into the final lap. Verstappen is getting a little bit close. The fuel is coming down here, although no, we pull away from Verstappen now. The fuel is at a point where we should be able to switch back to medium maybe to finish this race. Let's make sure we just recover it though. We don't want to throw anything away. Vettel is overheated, running in 7th place, but we'll stick with Gasly here. The fuel is pretty much on the nose. We'll follow Gasly across the line. We just got this one final hairpin and a slight right-hander, and there we go. Gasly comes across the line. A podium finish for Pierre Gasly ahead of Max Verstappen. George Russell gets first place for the Mercedes. Bottas in an Alfa Romeo is 4th. Norris is 5th in a McLaren. Hamilton is 6th in a Ferrari. Disappointing for Ferrari today, finishing 6th and 8th. Vettel gets 7th place. Absolutely outstanding for him, having qualified in 19th and then had a really bad start. We managed to make the safety car today work for us. Nicholas Latifi gets 9th in a Williams. 2 points for them. 3 points. In 2 races, Williams have now scored more points than they did last season, although Hülkenberg was in a really good position to finish 5th. Didn't work for the strategy, went through that medium tyre really quickly. And Schwartzman there picks up a point for Prema as well. A really good race for him. He did one stop. Albon outside the points in a Red Bull. Alonso, where is Alonso? Is he up in the points somewhere? Did I mention Alonso? No, 14th for Alonso. They went for the aggressive strategy as well. Didn't work out for them. Red Bull, we know, have the strongest car. Alonso is, I think he's rated the best driver in the game at the moment since Lewis has dropped a little bit. I don't know whether he has a negative stat, but he's dropped a little bit. So Alonso is the best car. He's the best driver. He's got the best car. Red Bull not putting it together. Just like Renault couldn't put it together last season, having the best car for the majority of the season. But as it is, we pick up 24 points today. Absolutely outstanding for us. 2 Mercedes on the podium. Mercedes don't have the best car this season, but Max and George are making it work for them. Norris currently still leading the Drivers' Championship though, with that 5th place, picking up 10 points. Pierre Gasly is 3rd place. Vettel 9th. I mean, we're 3rd overall. I don't think we're going to be able to keep this going, because next race we won't have a safety car, I would bet. But as it is, Mercedes are currently leading the Constructors' Championship. McLaren are 2nd, we're 3rd. Ferrari 4th, Renault 5th, but Red Bull with that strongest car, 6th place. Then we've got Alfa Romeo with 12, Aston Martin with 8. Williams with that 3 points this season, 9th, and then we've got Prema with a point and Haas and AlphaTauri yet to score points this season. I think AlphaTauri were the only team not to score any points last season. It looks like it's going to be another hard season for them. Gasly, meanwhile, is still improving a tiny little bit as a driver. Currently 29 years old. Vettel been outdone a little bit this season, although he outperformed Gasly in that first race of the season. 2.2 million coming out of the bank account. So a pretty good race. Let's just have a look at the drivers here. So as we see, Gasly has outqualified Vettel twice this season. He's got a podium, and they've both outraced each other 1 time. But Gasly currently winning the head-to-head this season. I don't know what is up with Vettel. He's gone a little bit off the boil this season. But anyway, we'll set the interview with Will Buxton after his win today. We were wondering if you... We'll just say this one because he's going to be interested in joining us, but we're not going to be able to pry him away from Mercedes, nor do I want to. He is the future of Mercedes, pretty much with Max Verstappen, unless either of them have a falling out with management or anything like that. It is going to be the... I don't see any change in that driver lineup for a few years to come in this game. But anyway, that is it. We've got Beijing, which is going to be a rainy race next time out. At least qualifying looks to be dry. We should have a new engine going into the next race. But Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren, Aston Martin, Renault, Alfa Romeo, Prema, and Prema didn't upgrade their car before this race. I'm guessing they're working on engines as well, or gearboxes, so we might see upgraded engines from Mercedes, Ferrari, which means we're not going to make the jump that we wanted to if they're going ahead and developing engines as well early into the season like we are. But anyway, a pretty decent race for us. 3rd and... was it 7th? It was third and seventh, wasn't it? Second. Absolutely amazing second from Gasly. How can I imagine that? We were running third for a while. That's possibly why. But a second and a seventh place is really good for us. Two excellent races for us this season. Last season we were 5th and 19th in this race. We've got both cars in the points this time. Pretty disappointing qualifying. Hopefully we can qualify a little bit better in China with the upgraded engine. But until next time, I'll see you down the road in China for the Beijing Grand Prix. But until then, goodbye.